Some liens can force you to sell your house or even lead to foreclosure, even if you are current on the mortgage payments. Most homeowners don't even realize that these liens exist until it's way too late. You could lose your home over an unpaid bill or a dispute you didn't even think was that serious. I'm breaking down what happens when a lien is placed on your house, the types of liens that can actually lead to foreclosure and force you to sell your home. Most importantly, we're going to discuss what you can do to protect yourself from a foreclosure nightmare. And let me tell you, you can't afford to miss this one. A lien is essentially a legal claim against your property. It's filed by creditors who owed money, and it gives them a stake in your home until that debt is paid. If you're curious about who can place a lien on your home, I've already made a video on this topic that dives into the details. I'll link it for you down below, no worries. Think of a lien like a hold on your property. Until the lien is resolved, you usually can't sell or refinance your home without dealing with this lien first. But since not all liens are created equal, some are relatively really harmless, while others can escalate into something much more serious, like foreclosing on your home for the sake of recouping a debt by a creditor. And this is why it's so important to understanding the types of liens on your property is so important. Liens generally fall into two categories, a voluntary and an involuntary. So let's break these down. Voluntary liens are the ones you agree to, like your mortgage. While these liens can impact your ability to sell or even refinance, they typically don't lead to a foreclosure sale unless you happen to default on the loan. Involuntary liens, on the other hand, are placed on your property without your consent and sometimes without your knowledge. These include things like tax liens, mechanic liens, judgment liens, liens resulting from code of building violations, and even unpaid water bills. Some of these liens, if they are unresolved, they can actually lead to a forced sale of your home and even a foreclosure. For instance, unpaid water bills in the state of New York are handled by the Department of Environmental Protection, the DEP. If the charges remain unpaid for over a year, they can be sold to a third party as a lien. These lien holders can then initiate a foreclosure proceedings if the debt isn't resolved. In New Jersey, on the other hand, municipalities can also impose similar liens for unpaid utility bills, which may eventually lead to foreclosure. So it's so important to address these types of liens quickly because they can escalate into much bigger problems. Let's get to the heart of the matter. The most common liens that can result in a forced sale are tax liens, HOA liens, and certain judgment liens. So let me explain. We'll first talk about the tax liens. If you owe property taxes, the government can place a lien on your home. And if these taxes aren't paid, they can lead to a foreclosure on the property to recoup the debt. Tax liens are considered a priority lien, meaning that they take precedent over almost all other debts, including even your mortgage. The next one is an HOA lien. If you live in a community with a homeowners association or a condominium and fall behind on fees, the HOA can place a lien on your property. And in some states, these liens are also given priority status. And that means that they will allow the HOA to foreclose even if you're current on your mortgage. The next one is the judgment liens. These are court-ordered liens placed on your property as a result of a legal judgment. While these liens don't always lead to foreclosure immediately, but if you leave them unresolved, judgment liens can pile up and eventually force a sale to satisfy the debt. The important part that I want you to know from this video is that some liens have the power to take priority over others, and that's making them especially dangerous. That's why it's crucial to address any lien on your property as soon as possible. What can you do if a lien is placed on your property? Resolving a lien can feel overwhelming, but it's really not impossible. I've also created a video on how to remove liens from your home. That video provides a step-by-step guide to help you through the process. So if you need it, be sure to check it out after this one. So here's a checklist of what to do. Reach out to whoever placed the lien to understand the amount owed, the nature of the lien, and any payment options. Clear communication is key to resolving the issue efficiently. Negotiate a settlement. Depending on the type of lien, you may be able to negotiate a reduced payment or a payment plan. For example, some creditors are willing to accept less if you can pay in a lump sum. For liens that are resulting from code violations or HOA fees, you'll need to resolve the root cause. This could mean fixing the violation or catching up on HOA dues to prevent further penalties. By the way, I've made a related video on how to remove liens from your house. That video goes deeper into resolving these types of issues. I'll link it for you to check out if you already have liens and need to understand how to remove them. And seek legal advice if the lien is complicated, such as a judgment lien or a lien that's involving significant debts. You need to consult with an attorney, and that can help you navigate the process and protect your property. You might be considering refinancing or selling if the debt is too large to handle. Refinancing or selling the property might be the best option to avoid foreclosure, but we gotta look at this option very carefully. And remember that selling on your terms is always better than having the property taken from you by the bank or anybody else that you owe money to. But the key takeaway for you is that the sooner you act, the more options you'll have to resolve or avoid liens altogether. Because you know what? Liens can be complicated and frankly a little bit scary. But understanding how they work and which ones pose the biggest risk can make all the difference. So if you're dealing with a lien or if you just want to avoid the pitfalls we've just discussed, don't hesitate to reach out. I specialize in helping homeowners navigate situations that's around threats of foreclosure, and we have a shared goal to help you stop a foreclosure. This Foreclosure Freedom channel is dedicated to homeowners looking for solutions and looking for knowledge. Click the subscribe button and join me in the discussion. My name is Esphir Popilevsky. I'm licensed in New York and New Jersey, and if you're watching from another state, still contact me because I can connect you with another professional who can absolutely help you. Contact me today and let's find ways to save your home from foreclosure together. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'll be waiting for you on the next video.